Hello, everyone, and welcome to Moogle Go Round episode 210. We're back.
Ooh,
We're back. We're back.
We're back.
So, I heard you did some. We'll just jump into it. I heard you did some Warhammer recently and did some wins.
I did last weekend. I came 13th in the whole tournament, so I came 13th. It was out like 33 players, so I was very happy about that. But yeah, I won 2 games, and it was a lot of fun. I made some new friends. It was just a lot of fun.
Nice.
And I hear that you've been shoutcasting a wee bit this week.
Yeah, I did my first ever Shoutcast event. Thank you to Frosty TV for allowing me to participate. Thank you to everyone involved for putting up with me. I was there for 6 hours, I think, in the end. My original shift was going to be 4 hours, but someone was ill, so someone got replaced, and then I ended up joining in because they tried to have 3 casters per period. So I ended up jumping in for the first 2 hours as well as my 4-hour shift. So I ended up doing it for 6 hours. So yeah, I'm sorry for everyone that had to put up with me for 6 hours, but I had a lot of fun, and they raised a lot of money. I think they ended up raising $15,000 over the time. We hit 10,000 while I was on, which was the original goal. So big shout out to the people that donated money to make us hydrate as well. We got a $500 donation during that stream. Not us, but not Moogle Run, but the Mog TV event. Got a $500 donation for to force us to hydrate. So big shout out to all the people that looked after us for 6 hours. So yeah, the race was 23 hours long. I think
about that.
I think. Yeah. I think it was short. I think it was like 21 for the first. I think the first one was around 5 a.m. our time, the first clear, but the entire race ended at like 9 a.m. I think when the third. I think that was when the last clear that was counted. Like, there's more clears after that, but like.
Yeah, I didn't stay up too late. I think I stayed up watching you until that, and I think I did a little stream while I was doing. So what was I doing? Because I was watching you on the side. I don't know what I was doing. It might have been me. I think I might have been playing something. I don't know what.
I stopped at 1 a.m. so it was quite late when I stopped. So yeah, I had to go raid, so I ended up not watching much of it. I just read about it. So yeah, I had a lot of fun. I hope to do it again. Big shout out to the people that said that I sounded like a Lalafell. So I had a few people coming saying I sound like an actual Lalafell. So credit to that. But
the actual Lalafell.
Yes.
Hey, I was just with that guy. Wait a minute. I was just with that guy. Wait a minute.
You were raiding with him, right? As well.
I was. I'm very tired. My brain.
How did it go? How did
Enrage. We got to Enrage today.
Didn't I say yesterday that you would get to Enrage today? Right?
Double stretch.
You came in and you said, we got to like 70%. I said, you know what? Next time you're going to see Enrage, and then after that you're going to clear it. So there you go. You're welcome. I should have just said you're going to clear it, but I felt that was a bit too much.
I'm not going to lie. The fight itself,
but fine.
It makes you tired of the eyes.
Me, I need, because it's you. I have some ketchup next to me. I've got it in my hand. I will eat the ketchup as we speak, okay? Just because it's you, okay? I'm going to put some in my hand right now. I'm squirting the ketchup into the...
Why are you putting it in your hand? Go get like a teaspoon or something.
I've squirted it into the palm of my hand, okay? And then I'm going to consume it.
Oh, God.
The worst part is I realize I have spoons next to me as well. I have 3 spoons here for some reason. I've decided by hand. Yeah. Pixar didn't happen.
Grab phone.
One hand, okay. My phone is next to me. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
I know you're only one of the greatest Fantasy 14 content out there, but like, come on, this is starting to take the piss, Mione.
No, you put yourself in a corner now, so come.
Damn it.
No, come on, you need where's this proof of the pudding? He's gone. He's off. Well,
no, I'm here. I'm trying to clean my fingernails a little bit.
So you're trying to clean your fingernails whilst having ketchup in the palm of your hand.
Yeah, I'm licking a finger in my other hand. Sometimes.
A what? Okay. I mean, you could probably get some OnlyFans for that if I'm being completely honest. But so yeah, I recently did some raids. The new raids. We got to enrage tonight on Dancing Green. I am knackered from it, even though I had a lovely day's sleep. I did some nice building. I chilled out for the day. That fight, just its visuals alone, bro, my eyes are sauced.
Okay.
My eyes. It's a very colourful fight. It was great, but bloody hell, my eyes. Do I feel drained now? It feels like I have done 3 hours of dancing. Quite literally. That's how drained I am right now.
For you, I put the picture in our special chat. There you go. I look like I'm bleeding.
I don't even know if I want this. I don't even know if I even want this on my PC, if I'm being completely honest. Someone goes through my files and sees a hand with some ketchup into it.
There you go.
Where do I even start to put this in? I guess we'll just start with an image source, I guess. Yeah, this will be deleted later.
There you go. I've consumed it and I took a picture for proof. We only just started the podcast. That's a bit zoomed in.
Starting looking weirder. There you go. There you go. We're just gonna cover Chille with these hands. There we go. There you go. I don't know, that ketchup does look a little runny. Did you shake it properly?
No.
That's probably why it looks a little runny.
People shake their ketchup.
Yeah.
Okay, I've never shaken ketchup before.
Yeah, so yeah, so it doesn't get all the watery bits and blends in.
I've never. I thought it was supposed to be wet.
Well, I know this is 18, but I felt like doing really PG right now. Whoa.
There you go. Anyway, we don't need it on screen too long.
So anyway, with my friend Chille's talking hand here, we did.
By the way, I took like 7 pictures to make sure it was a good quality as well. Like, I have
Oh God.
My phone is now
so
filled with hand ketchup. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't think of a spoon. I have spoons I have 3 spoons next to me. I don't know why I have 3 spoons next to me, but I have them. All of the same size as well, actually. That's interesting.
I'm trying not to make jokes. I'm really trying hard. My eyes are watering. I just have in my head. First of all, why have you got ketchup next to you? Second of all, with spoons, and I'm just thinking, what, is Chille just a crack dealer? Like, instead of actually using crack, he's using ketchup. He's just there lighting up spoons of ketchup. I don't know why. That is just. It's like, they're all the same size. Next thing you know, Chille's going to say to me, "Oh, you don't heat your ketchup up, like you don't heat your ketchup up to use for your chips, like to dunk it in.
You don't bubble the ketchup."
Yeah, you don't bubble the ketchup on a spoon, and then just dip your chips in it and eat it. Oh. I just got a Bunsen burner there, or a candle with these spoons just lighting up ketchup shot, and then just putting it on his
I've
chip.
got the kitchen roll for some reason. No, 4 spoons. I found another one.
When's the Alakazam cosplay, Chille? Oh God.
I don't want to be sued by Uri Geller, so no, I'll pass.
Oh God.
I still can't believe he went for Nintendo for that. That is still insane. I don't know if you knew about that, right?
Nope.
You know that there's never been a Kadabra card for the longest time because Uri Geller said that it looked too much like him. So they couldn't publish anything with Kadabra on it until like last year when he finally realized, oh, wait there, no, it's not me.
Wait a minute, it doesn't look like me. Oh my god. My eyes are watering. Oh my god, it feels like my eyes are bleeding. Oh my god. Oh wait, no, sorry, that's not blood, that's ketchup now just pouring out of my eyes. Oh
Man,
god,
see,
that's
this is
so
why we
good.
don't have Moogle Go Round with just two of us nowadays, because this is what happens.
Oh, we get derailed so hard by the smallest thing.
So yeah, my table right now has a phone, a cup, one empty bottle of water, one full of bottle of water, one questionable bottle of water, and
What's questionable? Wait! I know you're shoutcasting bits for 6 hours, but why questionable bottle of water?
Because
Why?
it's not
Why is it
consumable,
questionable?
really. No, I was
Oh,
a couple of days ago. I was having some issues with my jaw. You know, it was really kind of painful. But like, I found
yeah.
hot water was kind of like soothing the pain. So I filled it with hot water, and you know, you're not supposed to drink that type of water, really. So yeah, I was using a hot water
You
bottle,
were,
kind of.
but you were drinking the water.
No, I wasn't drinking it. That's why it's still got the water in it.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, questionable water.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm
What?
gonna send you a hot water bottle, an actual hot water bottle.
I've never owned one in my life. I've always just repurposed old water bottles. What I've drunk from. And put in a sock or something.
Oh no.
Get him a poop water bottle with a poo emoji case. By the way, I did go up to like Soak and Ben Starr at Distant Worlds while wearing the poop hat. I think that's why security tried to push me away. It was by the way, Distant Worlds was amazing. It was crazy just to see them. I know they do it all the time, but it's still always crazy to see like Soken and that just sat in the middle of the crowd with everyone else. Like,
Pretty cool.
It is cool, and I was still laughing over the fact that it's like I'm a fancy orchestra, and they sound because they played the Ultimate Weapon theme. So all I can hear is big fat tacos by like these like they've been spending like what 30, 40 years of their lives practicing their craft, like playing for like these high end orchestras, like high end establishments, and like this is a famous location, and all that. Yeah, they're now singing "Big Fat Tacos." Big fat tacos. Which, by the way, I found out the real lyrics are "Heart of Sabik," but like you'll never be anything but big fat tacos to me. So,
or anyone. You have to remember, or anyone.
So yeah, I was part of the world first race event by Frosty. I had a lot of fun. I got to talk a lot. I had a lot of positive feedback on that. So again, thank you to everyone that joined in and said I did a good job. And I had a lot of fun, and I hope to do it again in the future. So hopefully, in 6 months' time, maybe I'll get to do it again when we get another Savage, because it's going to be what 6 months.
You could do an Ultimate. Isn't there another Ultimate coming out next before that, or
we don't know? There's no date on the next Ultimate.
I thought there were two. I thought there were two Ultimates coming out this time. They said, or have two Ultimates already came out?
I thought the two already came out. There's probably another one coming, but I don't know when. So,
But yeah. Sorry, my background one there. Yeah. Final Fantasy 14 patch 7.2.
Before that, we do have some new stuff to talk about. There's some stuff that got announced recently. The Hatching Tide next week, right? April 9th, which is next Tuesday, I think.
No, next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
Yeah, because the 8th is Tuesday, and that is where the new DLC comes out for Age of Empire.
Okay. Well, April 9th at 8 a.m. GMT, you'll be able to click an NPC and then go run around for 10 seconds and click another NPC, and then you'll get to do a seasonal event. I'm sorry, but I'm still frustrated that they seem to put more effort into the picture of the seasonal event than they actually do the seasonal event nowadays, which is frustrating because I miss when seasonal events were actually an event and not just talk to people and you're done. I'm sorry, that's one thing that 14 has failed.
We get a cool umbrella.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, the umbrella. It's quite excellent, one would say.
Yes.
But no,
I think the events differ from time to time. Like one day, like 1 year, they'll put a lot of work into the event, but then the next year they'll put like not much into the event type thing. They might like rotate it around maybe.
I do like the fact that there's a Papali Mo in the picture though. So
Yeah, and Yida, which we all know is not Yida.
yeah,
She'll
boo.
never be my Yida. What else
And
we
of
got on the
course,
chopping board? New merch.
yeah, new merch available. Not for us, but it's Square Enix's new merch. The Moogle outfit and the Fat Chocobo outfit, which, by the way, they look adorable. Then you got some headbands.
Yeah.
And then you got some Mahjong keychains.
Mahjong keychains. Oh, I might have to get one of them for Winnie. They're great.
Barrel Tender bendable plushie. And reversible tote bag. And some new magnets. I kind of like the Corn Servant, of course.
Who doesn't love the Corn Servant? If you haven't done that quest line,
I still need to do that quest.
It got a new edition. It did get a new edition this patch as well. It did get some more quests. So
I don't think I've even done Hildebrand yet.
Oh, you should. It's good. I like it.
I kind of.
I like how I've done a lot more than you have. And I've been the guy that just hasn't played, and I've been playing so much.
But I think I kind of want to wait. I think I kind of want to wait until like most of Hildebrand is out, so I can do it all at once.
Oh yeah. And it's good to wait for as well, for when we do get the slump of again being in a patchless cycle. So I get it. Me, I've just been enjoying it. I'm not trying to burn myself out. I haven't really done anything. I just cap every day. Not every day, but I cap, and then I just do roulettes and stuff like that. I'm actually crafting now. I'm crafting my own raid food and stuff, so it's pretty fun.
Nice. I got my raid gear. I need to find what to meld. So we have to look online still, so I can meld it. So yeah, I'm excited. By the way, I can't wait. I know we're going to the raid, but the second fight is probably one of my favorite out of all of them. When I was watching the Savage first race, I was surprised that the second one was the most difficult out of the first three. Like the third one seems difficult, but it's just a damage check.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I know. I 100%. I love the second fight. I love the music. The music is way better than fucking Be Lovely music. That I thought that was just terrible. This music I've been listening to quite a lot. It's really nice, really bumpy. And obviously Delilah is adorable. I have to admit the Delilah she's just adorable. And she reminds me of an orc from 40k. How she uses her imagination to kill us.
Yeah, because they're okay. I don't know much lore about 40k, but from what I remember about Warhammer 40k orcs, a lot of their stuff doesn't actually work right, but because they think it works, it works.
Yes, because the power of imagination.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they think that works, it works.
Yeah. They will it into existence.
Yep.
See, I know a little bit.
Yeah.
That's basically all I know.
I am going orcs for my 11th edition army, which is like pretty sure in like a year's time when we get a new edition of 40k. So I'm going to be playing orcs a lot. So basically, my entire Twitter feed and like probably not the rest of this year, but next year probably just going to be full of orcs. It's going to be great.
I mean, it sounds good to me. But yeah, no, this raid tip was a lot of fun. The story was interesting. It was interesting that the bomber, sadder, yeah, the bomb person was. He's going to be back in the next one, right? He's going to be back in.
I mean, they still have the body.
I mean, we're going to see an Undertaker style return, right? He's going to come back as like the Undertaker.
That would be so funny. Like you're in like the last raid, and the entire scene just goes black, and then here is the bomber music. You're like, no, he's here. Where is he? And he just pops up behind us, and then does like, how was it like fuse foe or something like that? I'll be like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's going to be the Zombinator.
But no, I love the whole I do love, like, I think this one I love the more because it showed you how the face and the heel type of wrestling, which I thought was really cool. Like the Bomberman really like going into like the heel persona of being just really, being the bully, being all that, But then seeing like out of character, he's so soft and that he had cats and stuff. That's what made me so sad. He's like such a nice, like, chill bloke. And then, yeah.
Yeah, he was friends with that cat boy. By the way, my friend
Yeah.
Cole was really annoyed about that Catboy's like wolf form. 'Cause he really wanted to be like a big butch like Dom wolf, but he was so frustrated that it was just not like that. So I'm sorry, Cole.
No, it was Mecha Buff Wolf.
Yeah. Uh,
It
I
was
I
like
like
Fantasy
it.
Star Online meets Final Fantasy 14, the collab we never wanted or shouldn't have got.
I mean, it already
Uh,
existed, right?
hmm?
Um, in Japan, Final Fantasy Star Online had a collab with Final Fantasy 14, and there was plans to do another collab with us, but it never happened. But they added
Oh,
Odin
okay.
into Fantasy Online in Japan,
Oh,
and you
that's
could
cool.
get Final Fantasy 14 style gear in Fantasy Online. So, but that never got released outside of outside of Japan.
Yeah, because I actually played. I played some Fantasy Star. It was like Fantasy Star Online 2, I think it was called.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that was the one that.
Fantasy Star Online 2, New Genesis. Because my friends, Rini and all that, like they were playing it, and I was like, oh, cool. I'll play with friends. And do you know what they told me to do for like just playing it?
What's that?
Do story. Do story. I had no clue what I was doing. They told me just keep doing story. All right. And then when they came over to play Final Fantasy, I got to say, just do story.
And I bet
It
they
was great.
complained. They were like, "Oh my god, story! Why are you making me do
Yeah.
that?"
Yep. They complain. They complain to this day, but then again, like most of them just skip story anyway. They just skip the story. So I was like, oh, they would never feel the true vibe of the story.
But
But
yeah, no,
it's,
this Raid story was probably up there as one of my favorites for a while. Like, it was a bit sad, but overall, I thought it was a good story. So yeah, I'm happy it was well paced as well. So I'm excited to see where we go in the final part. I'm still
it's gonna be
hoping.
heavyweight, big
Yeah,
boys.
I'm still hoping that the owner is Ashada Xenos, even though that makes no sense now. I'm still hoping, and hopefully I'm in part 3 because Paul got to be in part 2, and hopefully I'm in part 3.
That's the green, baby.
I don't know what would my character be. I know if I was, uh, um, what wrestler would I be if I was in part 3? I don't know.
That's a good question. What would you be?
Or am I supposed to be the ladder?
I mean, we could get Jeff. Yeah, be soul of a seagull or something, or like a bird. We haven't seen a bird yet. It could be like a lucha libre like type bird type stuff. Yeah, flying off the top rope and shit. That could see that. But it's heavyweight, and a lot of luchadors were actually a lot of them like cruiserweights, high flyers, and stuff like that. So maybe not. You do see a couple of big like luchadors. So
I said maybe I'm.
I like how we're turning this into your wrestling podcast now that we're just sitting here talking about wrestling. So just get me on. I sports wrestling.
There was a lot of wrestling in
But
this.
no.
But that's the thing though. There's a lot of wrestling themes in this. So
Mm.
and Soken is a huge wrestling fan. Soken, what was it? Oh, someone's gonna tell me off. I can't remember who it was, but there's a big name wrestler that actually has his music done by Soken.
Yep. Yes, he does. And I saw it live, and it was fucking great.
Yeah.
Oh,
And Soken's
was it
been
so?
to quite a few matches as well because he enjoys wrestling. So.
Yeah, but we were at WrestleMania as well. Final Fantasy 14 was at WrestleMania when Red Mage comes out. We were there, like, because it was done by was it Up Down Down? I can't remember his name. We had like Kofi Kingston, Big E, and all that, and like they were dressed as like red mages, had like Moogles and stuff. It was so cool. Like, remember we were there. I can't remember when did I think it was Stormblood? Was it Stormblood? When Red Mage came out? Red Mage Samurai Stormblood, wasn't it?
Kenny Omega just had a new one in 2025 by Soken as well. That was
that was at Kenny Omega. That's the one you're on about.
Yeah, I had to quickly Google. So,
but yeah, when it was Stormblood that came out with Samurai and Red Mage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like Stormblood, and that was it for WrestleMania that time. It was so good because they brought out my big boys. It was like a table. No, it was a ladder match, and they brought out it was like a tag team match, and they brought out the Hardy Boys again, and I was so fucking hyped. I was like, "That's my boys, the Hardy Boys." It was great. So I remember all the stuff.
I will never forget London Fan Fest 2014 when they announced Dark Knight, and the person in front of me said, "We're not healing them." I'll never forget that. Or just as a white mage. That's only because the only previous experience before then was 11, and nobody wanted a
Yeah,
Dark Knight in the pie
when they
because 11 was not great for
yeah, because the more health they lost, the more damage they did, right? If I remember you saying,
yeah
like, 'cause it
yeah
used to cross past that with Monk.
yeah. They had an ability called Soul Eater where they would sacrifice their own health to do damage. So
Yeah. See, I remember
yeah
these things. It does
yeah
stick in there with me, even though I haven't played
yeah.
11.
Yeah, Soul
But
Eater was
I
a
think,
fun move, but I think it was like 5% of your health with every auto attack.
ooh,
Yeah.
damn,
It was
yikes.
yeah, it was not like a little bit of it. No, it was like it was insane. Like, and then like add on like a
You know,
cracking club that could do 6 autos in one turn. Yeah.
I think this is like what was it we were talking about? We were like making so many jokes yesterday about the what's going to be like the final boss, like who's the boss, and then we were just saying. I think Mione said it was like it's Moogle Go. She's like the leader of it. She's she's like the owner of this like wrestling ring. And then it was like, and then I had the picture of just her like, like walking down and dressed in a suit like Vince McMahon. He's just like she's like doing the walk of Vince McMahon coming down like the thing, trying to like beats us with a steel chair or something. And I was like, yeah, it has to be.
I'm still hoping for a shard of Xenos. Like that's what my hope is. I'm gonna keep on that hope. I know a lot of people don't like him, but like I really want him as as it because I would find that hilarious. That like as I said, the whole point of the Arcadian is because this version of Xenos, because it's not Xenos, it's a shard. Yeah, this universe version of him, like how we've had other characters that like aren't the characters that we know on our main shard, but have so many personalities that we know are part of them. Because everyone got split right except for us. So
Hmm.
is this that Shard's version of Xenos that has never met their Warrior of Light on that Shard, and to have that he set up this entire competition so that way he can find whoever the strongest is, so he can fight them, or she can fight them. Right, it's a different.
That
It's
would be
not exact,
or if it's like a gender bent like
yeah.
Xenos. Oh, that
Yeah,
would
it
be
doesn't
pretty
have to
sick.
be look exactly like him, but like it could be a she. It could, but it's like a shard of Xenos sort of thing. It'll have the soul, but it's not the actual character. I'm not saying Xenos is coming back.
Yeah,
You know.
that would be cool. Again, like I really want to know who the new one is. I wish they would have sneaked peeked it a little bit more of the story, but it's going to be a
Yeah,
big finale at the end. Big finale. I'm hoping like each fight is just going to be a big like main event type shit. Like the end one is like the all time, like breaker of the streak Undertaker like type shit, or like
yeah.
the big like Undertaker versus I think it was like Shawn Michaels or Triple H. It just lasted so long. It was just so epic.
But also,
Like
thank you again. Warning for spoilers for Savage if you want to be blind for it. But thank you for not being lazy with 7. Now, I know a lot of people were worried about this. I don't know if you were worried, but like, remember Carbuncle in Pandemonium where you had the phase change and then you fought the Carbuncle in a different arena?
yeah.
I was worried that maybe for 7 they would skip some of the phase changes for the normal mode in Savage. I was worried that might happen because there's so many different phase arenas in normal mode. I was worried that they would do that. They would be like, "Oh, we don't really need those in Savage. We'll just jump straight to like the last arena." So I'm not gonna lie, I was not like very worried, but it was still in the back of my mind that they might do it. So I'm very happy they didn't. So yeah, but yeah, I like the
Yeah.
9 references in 6. So I don't I know you didn't play 9, but there's some references
Oh,
to
yeah.
9 in 6 Savage. If you don't know that,
No, I did not. Again, I don't play a lot of other Final Fantasy. It was like
yeah.
13 references, maybe 15, possibly 16. Yeah, 'cause it's one of those ones. But
Yeah.
you know,
Well, in 9
other
there
ones
was
I haven't.
there was like a hidden side quest, right? Where you
Mhm.
could get some bonus XP and AP. AP was kind of how you leveled up equipment, right? Because equipment in 9 had like abilities on them, and you could equip those abilities. But if you switch equipment, you would lose those abilities. But if you
Yeah.
leveled up the items, you could then add the ability to your character without when you got new gear, you'd still get the ability still. You understand what I mean? So the items themselves had like their own XP bar. So like 100 XP or whatever, and then once you've leveled it up, you then can use it even if you switch gear. Anyway, that's took completely off topic in a way. But there was these side quests where these friendly animals would appear on the world map randomly in certain locations, and they'll be like, oh, this. There'll be like this really cutesy music instead of like you'd have the normal battle music, and then you'd have the cutesy version like doodly doodly doo, doodly doo, and like this really cutesy like music would start playing like a circus like carnival style music, and they'd be like, "Oh, hello, friend, can you give me a diamond?" And then you're like, "Here, here's the diamond," and they go, "Oh, thank you so much. If you see my friend, say hi for me," and then it runs off and gives you XP.
If you see my friend so and so, then yes.
Yeah. And then they'll leave and they'll give you like bonus XP and bonus AP. But they've added those as the ad phase in 6.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Not exactly, by the way, just I'm not spoiling the mechanics, I'm just like the actual enemies. Yeah.
It's been spoiled for me. No.
You can't trade ore to to them, as much as that would be hilarious. Imagine you're in Savage, and then you have to open, like halfway through the fight, you have to open up the trade window so you can trade ore to one of the enemies.
If we have to do that, someone would make a macro. 100% make a macro for it.
The gem Hector strat. One person needs Hector. One type of gem each. But no, I like the fact that they added them as like the ads, because it was kind of fitting for the theme of this expansion with 9, and they're cutesy and friendly, so it kind of fits the Lalafell as well. So I like the fact they did that. So
man, I just love all the music for it. All the music so far, it's just been so good.
I think I gotta say your music is the best one though, in my opinion.
No, M6. I've been listening to M6 so much.
I like M6 as well, but I don't know. I like the dance beat of 5.
It just reminds me of Disco Stew.
Yeah.
Every time I hear the music, I think like Disco Stew's gonna like burst in through my like doors. That Disco Stew was talking to you. And I was like, I need to get like a disco glam. I think get a disco glam going.
Yeah, you do. Oh, but no, it was a great year. Now, time for the story mode, where I don't think it was as good as the raid. Like it was, I'm not going to say it was bad, but like the story mode felt it dragged on. Okay, it's weird. I felt like it rushed in places. Like there was definitely felt like some places were rushed, but it also felt really too long. If you understand what I mean, like there's certain bits where I felt like they're like what was it like spoilers, but someone has to. I guess we said this is a spoiler cast anyway, but like they're like, Safine wants to see around the town. And I'm like, okay, I'm like, even on stream, I'm like, okay, guess we're gonna do one of those follow quests. And then like we had another like 5 quests before that even happened. I'm like, oh come on, I don't want to do this anyway. Why are you forcing me to wait to do it? Just let me get over and done with. Like, so yeah, the quest was fun. I like the Persona villain because I swear it looks like a Persona villain. By the way, he's dead. I'm telling you now, he is 100% dead.
He's 100% undead. 100% of how he looks. Yeah. Like, it's like a cool get up. Like, it's like some doctor type shit. Like, I get that, like doctor patient type stuff. How he looks.
Well, look at his neck,
his voice is all right as well.
Look at his neck.
Yeah, he's probably like pumping ether through or something.
Yeah. Because there's a thing from his white pipe from his neck to where his heart would be, right?
Yeah, it's like probably like moving like ether around or some shit like that.
I think he's already dead. Like he's too pale to be alive, and this is someone who's incredibly pale. Like he has the typical anime signs of being a zombie.
Yeah, I think the aim of the story is probably going to be like. He's trying to get all the souls, make them all endless, just to sacrifice into making him alive again.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think this guy's just way too afraid of death and all that bullshit.
I also think
like this entire story's been like with Alexandra.
I also think he's playing the part of Garland from 9, because Garland was... I can't remember the exact story, because, okay, I love 9, but the story kind of went like fantasy, cute, right? And then suddenly like 5% at the end of the game, magic science.
Yeah.
Like there was kind of a theme of magic science during it, but like a lot of it was like fantasy, cutesy, like look at all that, oh. And then suddenly it turned a little bit dark, and then Garland with the giant space eyeball appeared, and you're like, people from a different dimension, and they're puppets. What? What? When did this? When did that? Last thing we knew, there was a tree that was the soul of the. That was the last thing we heard, and now there's a giant eyeball in the sky, being made by some old science man that he's trying to suck. He sent genomes to do a thing, and why? Where's this anything to do with the phantom? Can I go back to the magic castle, please? I've done the magic tree. At least that was fantasy based. I don't. Where did you come from, old science man?
I mean, doesn't this is just like how Final Fantasy now is for us?
Yeah.
Where it's now more going into the more like sci-fi area of it now,
Yeah.
instead of like the old castle and like the old like fantasy stuff. I don't know where they're going to go from here, because I know this is all like pre stuff right now.
Yeah. Just please.
What?
Don't bring Necron in. Please just don't bring Necron in. Like, you beat Garland, right, at the end of it, and you're like, okay, I finally beaten. And then Necron just appears. And he's like, I am the god of death. I'm like, sweet. Who are you? Fight me now. Okay. But
Fight me now.
Where did any of this come from? Like, there's no plot to Necron, or he just appears at the end of the game after you beat everything. You beat what you think is the final boss, and then you find out the real final boss is this half-naked space idolin. Like,
do you think that's what this guy's going to turn into, Necron?
I think it might be. Necron kind of actually reminds me of spoilers from the 9. Actually, to be honest, there's some elements of Necron in the current rate here. Not gonna lie, not exactly like him, but there's some. I'm gonna find a picture of Necron for you if I can. Like, I can see some of his design in it, because I'll put it in our super secret chat. But yeah, if I can, there you go. That's Necron.
Yeah, I think this like pale dude could probably turn into that as like the final boss.
Yeah.
Of like the pre-story, I guess. I could see this guy being like turn into that and be like the end all be all type thing.
Yeah.
So
Necron was at the Hill of Despair. I had to find Trance Kuja. Trance Kuja was cool, by the way. Kuja was cool. I liked Kuja.
Now hear that. He is the healer. What is the guy dressed as? A doctor, a healer. He's trying to heal people from not dying. And all that, and imperfections and stuff like that. And he wants them to evolve, which again just means he wants them to evolve to take his life force to make him alive again.
Yeah.
And then Necron, he's just going to appear. How are we going to do it? I don't know. I don't care why Sphene came back. I really just thought she was just going to fuck off and die. I thought we killed her.
No,
she's
but
a
she's
robot.
like for realsy now, right? This is a real.
Yeah, I don't get that. Yeah, how? Okay, cool. We're just going to get a Yestola moment. Let me just pick her out of the fucking aether. Boom. There she is. Bish bash bosh. Yeah. I don't get that one. That was just very weird and confusing and annoying.
Well, no, because she was asleep, right? So this Sphene was asleep. Was having a nap. This Sphene was. She was in stasis, right? The real Sphene was in stasis. And because we defeated fake Sphene, the power got diverted, and therefore she got awoken from stasis or something.
Yeah.
I think that's right.
That's some bullshit. I think that might be right. Oh, no, it's just...
Sphene! Sorry.
I mean, she's like hella ancient now, technically.
Yeah.
We're going through that. She's like hella ancient. Stuck in stasis.
She's supposed to be a representation of Garnet from 9. So, who... Yeah, Sphene, Garnet, same jaw.
It'd be interesting to see what happens if they make Sphene come with us and leave Galu Jaja as the kind of the leader, Alexander. I think would be a good idea, and Sphene just like fucks off. But I think Sphene loves her kingdom too much to.
Guljar, right? Not Jaja.
Yeah,
Jaja's the father.
Yeah, forget about Jar Jars. Sorry, it's just
Jar Jar Binks is in charge of Alexander.
Yeah. See how well that ended for Coruscant and stuff.
I mean, it's probably better than the sci-fi music thing that wants to kill everyone. So,
but yeah, so we'll see where the story goes. Again, I weren't very interested in the story. I haven't been. But side story, on the other hand, the actual area of the stories, like the area of stories, I haven't got to Solution 9 yet, because there's a bunch of really nice stories in there, apparently. So I've been going through every single area and completing like all the side stories and stuff. In some cases, you can also get some scrolls and stuff for like music as well, like that, and some stuff like that. So it was pretty cool. But yeah, I've like nearly like done them, like every single one. I know I'm on the Texas looking place, so it's quite interesting.
I still want to get the glasses from the raid. By the way, I need that still.
I have them on my main, so I'm happy.
Nice.
So I can just be like me, dancing green. Also, going through the story of the raid real quick. Going back to that just a little nip quick. They were all really, other than like obviously the Bomberman and Catboy. The rest of them was like, yeah, no, I retire. I don't care. I like life more.
Even even Honeybee Lovely is like, yeah, sure, I'm too busy with like my pop singing and this anyway. It gives me time to rest. So yeah, sure, I'll quit.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, I'll retire. And then you had like, like dancing thing. It was like, bro, I hate being a dancing animal. I hate being a party animal. Fucking sucks. I'm like, damn.
Can I add? That was the funniest scene, Bright. Because he was like, the main character, the Catboy's like, I'm not going to retire. I'm never going to retire. I love it too much. And then you're like, okay, well, what if we just like dare him to like, if he loses, he has to quit.
Yeah, we've got to call him out, Yeah.
But the funny thing is, like, Sphina's paid like her simps to like.
Not Sphine, Honeybee Lovely.
To back you up. Not Sphine, like Honeybee Lovely pays her simps to back you up.
Yeah. I thought that was great. That was. I don't know if anyone else did that, but when like you're like shouting him out, like calling him out onto these terms, who just didn't think like you just wanted to be Hulk Hogan at that point? You're like Rona Maniac type stuff as well. Like you just wanted to be like, yeah, I'm calling you out, brother, and stuff like that. I was like so funny.
I did as well. I'm like, well, I'm putting on a show, right? I have to put on a little bit of a show. Like that's the whole point of it. Yeah,
it's great.
So I'm like, yeah, you run away, you're a coward, man.
Coward, man. Yeah. It was too good.
So yeah, but no, I love the fact that she had paid off people to be in the crowd. To like it's kind of fitting, and I love it. So
it was. Yeah, it was really good. But, yeah,
it has shown off the darker side of wrestling now with the drug abuse and all that. Like, I know that a couple of other podcasts can go into more detail than we can because we're not really I've not really watched Japanese wrestling, but from what I've heard, a lot of the darker stuff that had been shown in this raid actually kind of happens in real life. So it's been interesting to see like it actually going off in the raid. Okay. Well, you missed the hand catch up, Wobbsy.
But obviously, because now we've got Wasby coming in. So again, thank you for Wasby for the raid, buddy. But we're going to go to something different now from story, from all that. There is another event coming up, which is PvP based, which has got one of the most sexiest men alive on Twitch in the PvP scene on Final Fantasy 14. We've got Brian Ricardo, and there's going to be the Crystal Line Conflict Community Cup for North America coming up. So this is what we've been waiting for.
Frosty, by the way. Isn't Frosty?
And Frosty, yeah. Yeah, Frosty's also involved, the commentators. Yeah. But I had to get Brian, yeah.
By the way, I'm gonna try and get Brian on in again in the future. Like we've got a guest planned for the next one, and I wanted to make sure that PV season had like, I don't know if the word testing, but like I want to make sure that people have had time to play the new mode and also test out the new abilities before talking about it in full DL. Because I
have actually raided Brian a couple of times. He's been doing it. He's been doing it with like someone else. I didn't know who was, so it was pretty cool.
So I do hope to have Brian on, and Aya. aka Aya's wonderful as well. She's a love sweetheart. So yeah, Aya's a community manager. So yeah, I hope to have Brian on in the future again.
Yeah, we got to have Brian on. We have to talk about PvP. If we can't have that, what the hell? Chille is the second best PvP expert.
No.
Exactly.
No,
He should have been
not.
there.
No.
Instead of Frosty,
No.
it should have been Chille.
God, no. They want someone that's actually good at shoutcasting. They want someone that's actually good at it. No,
I mean, I'm average, so I could probably stick my neck out there, But now I got like Sam talks and all that. I think Sam's probably one of the best ones.
Yeah, Sam's good.
I think out there when it comes to that.
And of course, you got
Root
as well. You got so many good casters out there in both the fantasy scene and the World of Warcraft scene. I know we said World of Warcraft, and we may have scared everyone away, but yeah, they're good at what they do. And fine, I'll wiggle my fingers.
Yep, wiggle them fingers.
You missed the start, Wobbsy, where Mione had me pour ketchup and eat it, though I did it in my hand, which he didn't request. But
oh Jesus!
So
co-streaming is allowed, so you can co-stream it. Maybe we'll co-stream it. Maybe I'll co-stream it. Do a bit, Co-streaming is allowed. All starting and ending times are approximate and subject to change. So let's have a look. So this is starting on Saturday, 19th of April, 2025, from I think that's 12 GMT and 1 PM BST.
Is that?
And then we have that's 1 AM BST.
Yeah.
So
sorry, you said PM. Sorry, I just wanted to see.
So there's one for GMT and then there's one for BST.
Yeah.
And then you got 10 o'clock EST or AEST. Okay. I'm bad with these, and then so on and so forth. Those are the quarterfinals, and then
it's only an hour.
Yeah, so those are the quarterfinals, and then we got the semi-finals and finals on the 20th, which is a Sunday. So that should be good. I might co-stream that. That is my streaming days. So maybe I watch a bit while I do a bit of painting. Who knows?
Yeah, I guess it is your stream day, but technically also mine because it's Friday, right? Friday night to Saturday, sorry. Because
no, just Saturday.
Well, yeah, but it'd be after midnight Friday, so Saturday. If you understand what I mean, it's times that weird brain.
Brain is the need.
Saturday the 19th, which is in what, 2 weeks? 2 weeks from now?
Yeah, roughly about 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, 2 weeks. So yeah, hopefully I can join you. I would love to join you.
I mean, I'll be down to watch on Friday. That'd be good to watch. So. See, yeah. And then the weekend after that, I will be off again for another tournament. So another Warhamming tournament. So yeah, I'm doing a lot of tournaments this year. So I think I got one nearly every month. So get me out of the house and does stuff.
Yeah. That's awesome. I don't have anything else planned to get me out of the house for a while now. So you got me, stream. I'm sorry.
I don't know. Maybe later in the year, I may be disappearing for an entire week.
Ooh, are you coming to Scarborough?
No, somewhere further and more expensive. I might be going to Texas.
Ooh,
so
that's probably going to be cheaper than Scarborough.
I mean, it's like £565 for the ticket there and back, and then I have to search for a hotel. So.
Yeah, but once you work out the actual distance, the price. Like, I'm not saying it's actually cheaper, but like, you think about how far away you're going compared to how far you'd be coming to here. Like, in reality, it's cheaper. It's not really, but yeah.
No, I haven't got like what dates are yet, so they need to fucking tell me so I can sort out some stuff.
I haven't been to Texas for 20 years. I turned 18 there. Yeah. I went to Hooters for my 18th birthday.
It might be interesting. Maybe I might see Talon, if anyone remembers Talon, because I know he lives in Texas.
Yeah, there's quite a few people that we know that are in Texas.
Yeah, he might drive out and see me. I know I'm going to Dallas, Texas. That's where my plane's landing. Nice. And then for out there, no fucking clue. I
was at Fort Worth. That's where I was.
Fort Worth,
which is near Dallas.
That is the Dallas airport, Fort Worth.
Yeah,
it's Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth. is the not hotel, but the
Yeah.
airport.
The airport.
So it'll be interesting because I've been to America, so
It's fun. It's they're always friendly to you. At least whenever I've been to Texas, I've been to America, they've been friendly to me. So
yeah, but you're actually like kind and innocent. I'm not. I would get one drink in me and I'll be like effing and blahing. I'll be on the seat. I'll be dancing on the pool tables and stuff like that, doing the okey cokey.
I will never forget. I'll never forget that the fast food place. I was staying with a girl while I was in Wisconsin, right? I was staying with someone, right? Because of stuff, and I will never forget, right? We were sat like at a fast food place, and the waitress came over, and I started, ask, and then she's like, "Oh, wait, are you British?" I'm like, "Yeah." She said, "Oh, I love your accent," and then she sat next to me and started just talking about her life, and then the entire time she just didn't. By the time we actually got the food, I felt like she was basically sat on my lap. I'm like, you
Excuse me?
waitresses like this in America.
Oh, waitresses like this? No, only in Hooters when they want a really nice tip.
No, Hooters that was before that. I got a picture of all the girls.
Customer service. Well, because they probably knew that you weren't, weren't from there, so they're like, oh, maybe he'll give me like a good tip type shit.
Well,
apparently they
spoilers.
think
I don't because we don't.
You think we carry cash with us, madam? How dare you?
We don't know what tip. We barely tip.
No, I tip. If I go to a restaurant like with a family, I usually tip around about like if the servers are really good, they get about like 20 to 30 pounds. Just because we're nice.
I don't tip that much. Well, it depends on where you're eating. Like, I tipped like £10
whenever they hear the accent, they want us back. Exactly, Bobsy. You know you want us. You know you want me. You know you want us. But that should be interesting. I kind of want to shoot a gun in Texas as well. So if anyone is Texas and knows of how to treat me to a good time to shoot a weapon,
I mean, you should be able to do that, right? That should be too hard.
Yeah, I don't know how much it is. So that's like the main thing.
Yeah,
but it should be fun. I'm hoping. Maybe if it does happen again, it's a lot of I've still got to first get the money, which I only get like 400 something a month, and maybe I might get a job before then. Yeah, I gotta spend less on Warhammer. So it's it'd be like saving up and stuff like that. Yeah. We'll see what happens.
Well, but, I guess that's it for this week's episode because, that should just be playing a machinist because we talked about the 7.2
What do you mean, Nerf machinist? You're not shooting bullets; you're shooting pellets.
I feel like pellets would be more powerful than the damn machinist nowadays.
And I've actually really been enjoying machinist.
Yeah.
I'm leveling it slowly, and I've been really enjoying machinist. And I'm like, I hear it got nerfed, and I'm like, oh, why? I just started playing.
Short podcast, yeah. Well, we talked about 7.2. We covered the raid. We covered the story. There's not much now until Cosmic Exploration, which will drop at the end of this month, right?
End of April, yeah.
Yeah, where it'll be the crafting and gathering stuff, which I'm excited for. And
crafting gathering stuff and the new ally tribe stuff.
I thought that was later. I thought that was the month after with.
I thought that came with the gathering stuff.
It probably does.
No, I think you're right. I think it might come with the relic weapon, as I'm going to call it. So, which I feel like it should have been the other way around, but hey ho. Actually, to be fair, I thought the allied tribe should have been with this patch. If I'm being completely honest, I think it should have been with this patch because
really lacked content, in my opinion. I know that sounds mean, but there wasn't a huge amount of you had the story. The story was what, 4 hours, maybe?
Yep, not even. About 3.
I would say about 3 to 4 hours, depending on how much. I streamed it, so it was about 4 hours. If you weren't streaming,
depending how much you wipe in the trial, depending how much you wipe on a trial and how long the dungeon queues are.
the dungeon. I wiped a couple of times in the dungeon the first time.
Oh, I haven't wiped on that yet. We've
Yeah.
just begun.
On the first day, like there was a few issues. Like I
No,
had
even
trouble
on
with
the
the
first day, we just went through. We were like, okay. Yeah, I was just playing tank, so
I had trouble
playing
with the
Dark Knight.
Guardian. The weird. Oh, by the way, the enemies from the dungeon were also enemies from 9, as well as the trial. So all the bosses were 9 enemies. By the way, just a heads up.
Now, there weren't like 9 of them, guys. Okay, there weren't just like 9 enemies. They're from Final
from
Fantasy
9.
9.
The guard, the bug thing. The bug thing was actually a transport in 9. It ran between Lindblom and Alexander, and I think there were some other places it ran. And it was invented by Sid, and it went from each town. So, and then you had to defend it from.
Sorry,
Sid made like a device where it would drop greens to force it to run round. So yeah, it would run round constantly, and then it would drop food down. And when the food dropped down, it'd stop the animal from running. So you jumped on a little platform, and then once it had the food, it would just run off again. That's how you would stop it. It would only stop for food. So
I mean, the
that ran
dungeon's
underground.
nice.
Yeah,
I have
and
to
then
admit,
the Alexander Soldier,
nice.
and then you had the literal door boss at the end.
It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I didn't mind the cutscene as well with like this like robots to feed.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. Overall, the patch was pretty decent.
Beatrix.
Like overall, Beatrix was good. I enjoyed that fight. That fight was really good.
I'm going to do the extreme tonight, hopefully.
The extreme fight is actually pretty fun.
Yeah.
I didn't care to get my weapon because one, I had a lot of stuff to do. I had a lot of stuff to cap, and then obviously I went away on the weekend. Then I came back and I was dead. I was so dead.
Oh, I was exhausted. Yeah.
Like I've had some shoulder pain this week, and I've had some carpal tunnel problems on my left hand. So that's my like typing session. Not my mouse hand, thank God. But it was like that, and so I've been really like off and down. So, but it was fun. This patch is fun. I've been enjoying it. I'm trying not to burn myself out too much. Obviously, we'll be doing stuff each day, like capping and all that. I've got to do it for 2 characters, so I'll be like on like cool, do this dungeon, do this dungeon, do this dungeon, and then I'll probably go like do something else or something. Or I've got a lot of painting to do, so I've got to finish off my painting ready for the 26th. So that's probably what I'm going to be doing.
I would rate this
over the next couple.
I would rate this patch as 7 out of 10, and that's mainly due to the raid.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I would go with that. The raid blew it out the fucking water.
Yeah.
Story was like, yeah, cool. The fights on the story, good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
The dungeon's music was very sad music.
Yeah.
Very sad. Like obviously you're going into like the rune, the basically the.
But 7 had quite a lot of sad themes. Like
you mean 9?
It was a 9. Sorry, yeah, 9 had so many sad themes. Like 9 was basically it's like, oh, everything's really cute, and then like after like 5 minutes you got despair, and then everything goes cute again. And it's like, oh, this is like, and then suddenly despair, and then great.
Which is good because I feel like we need a little bit of that because we were like going down to like of what Alexandra once was. So it's like, oh shit, yeah, okay, yeah, it can be sad.
Yeah.
But overall,
after the stream because
pretty mid,
way off.
Pretty mid. But so I think we'll dance with Paul again. Yeah, I was in the raid scene, was really cool. I'm enjoying that. This weekend, Team DC is going to do their first look into the new raid. So hopefully that should be some bangers. Yeah.
This weekend on Moogle Go Round Radio.
Yeah, got pretty decent lineup. I think tomorrow I'm like streaming on personal channel, probably doing some more of that drug game. Because I just think that's fun.
Joining me for Monster Hunter, Paul? I can't remember if you owned it actually. I forgot.
I do own Monster Hunter.
Yeah, because the Monster Hunter update is tomorrow.
Where do we get level 80 gear? It's Ilmore, isn't it?
Yeah.
Elmore. I don't know. I forgot how to spell Elmore.
Monster Hunter is in the past by the time this goes live. But yeah, it's been a good week. I've enjoyed this podcast. But next podcast, we're going to have the wonderful Super Lewis 64. as we're going to talk about. I'm going to get the interview done tonight. I'm right over the next day or so, where we're going to talk about controllers, because he is the controller guy who made all different custom controllers for all different video games. So I can't believe we got someone on that's seriously, as a controller player, I can't wait to talk with him. He's made painting controllers for Pick Them Monster. He made a giant greatsword to play Elden Ring. He made a Nerf gun for Machinist. He made a gunblade for Gunbreaker. Like, if you want to play the game with all different style controllers, Super Lewis 64 has made tons of them. Like, I don't think they're actually sold, but like, you could probably. I think he has like the details of how he makes them.
The guy's an absolute fucking genius. The amount of engineering involved and also like coding involved to even make that happen.
Like, he paints on the canvas and it happens in game. Like,
yeah, 10 out of 10. This guy's like probably a genius, 100%. But instead of using his genius for good, he uses it for entertainment and to play games different ways.
And he's going to join us. So
yeah, two double.
R2 IQs might equal half his. So
maybe
at best.
We shall see.
So thank you everyone who joined us. Paul, where can they find you and stuff? Because I know you've been streaming on your own channel recently.
Yeah, you can find me.
Oh my god, that's the flattest.
You can find me Paul _ I like how it really comes in and says check my DMs when I already did that. Damn it. You can find me at Paul _ where I stream my raids and I stream random games with my good friend Rinny, who's our artist who's done all our PNGs and some of our emotes. And you can find me on the weekends on Moogle Go Round Radio, where I also stream my raids and a lot of Final Fantasy 14 content. And I do stream on Mondays with Nikki _ the Tiefling, and where we play Stolasta, Crown of the Magister. And you can find me on Twitter or X, whatever the fuck you want to call it, at Paul Medal 1, where I do excuse me, a lot of talking. Where I basically just shout out when I'm going live, and usually a lot of like Warhammer pictures that I do of my paintings and stuff like that. So yeah, that's where you can find me. Chille, where can they find you?
Well, you can find me here on Moogle Go Radio every Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm hoping to bring back Assassin's Creed because I've only played like 2 hours of it and I haven't played it since then, which sucks, but I've been busy with the patch and stuff. So, and then also I hope to bring back Dragon Quest at some point. So hopefully Tuesdays will be like patch day, Wednesday will be Assassin's Creed, and then at some point Dragon Quest, but we also have Marvel Fridays, and also we have Monster Hunter. There's a lot of gaming going on right now, and there's a lot of time trying to work out when to do what. So you can find me. Also, you can find me at Holofard Saying Gaming on YouTube, where I'm at 165 subscribers last I saw. Thank you to everyone that supports. You can find me.
I've been enjoying your shorts. Been enjoying your shorts actually of Bleach. They've been quite good. Okay, I'm sorry.
You can find me at MJ_Chille on Twitter. Apart from that, again, big shout out to Super Lewis 64 for joining us in the next episode. Hopefully, so far, touch wood, everything's scheduled okay. April 17th, I think it was. So again, thank you to everyone that's listened to episode 210 of Moogle Go Round Radio. Again, thank you to Mione for the raid during this podcast. Thank you to Wobsy for the raid during the podcast. And I'm sorry everyone that had to experience me licking my hand because I put ketchup on it. Until next time, stay safe.
And thank you, Panda Chan, for the follow that you did about 15 hours ago.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye.